We hope you all had a wonderful day. Here we are again looking at BBIG and what we have seen on the markets today, specifically regarding BBIG. Overall, the stock is down by 2.5% today so far. Of course, there's still a bit of time to go until the market does close, but things are down today. Ultimately, it's not looking as bad of a drop as we have seen for the past 5 or so days, so I'm happy with that, but yes, we are still down by a little bit. Let's talk about this, let's talk about what is going on and what I am personally thinking regarding BBIG at the moment. If it sounds good, guys, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, but do remember, this is not financial advice. You need to be aware of the risks with BBIG and think what you want about this, but I do think this is a short squeeze play in my opinion. I think this subsequently carries extra risk. I want you guys to be completely informed as to what you're investing in, so do your own DD, make sure you know what you're investing in and take accountability, because this is not financial advice. But yeah, let's jump into the video and share a few of my thoughts and opinions on BBIG based on what we are seeing most recently. So what we're going to do on this one is we're going to start off looking at the simple charts and how we have been moving on BBIG today compared to the general markets. So we'll start off by looking over here where we can see the general market trend, where we are actually up on all of these. We can see that the S&P 500 up by 0.9%, the Dow Jones just over 1% up, the Nasdaq about 0.83% up, the Russell 2000 is up by about almost 2%, to be honest, and yeah, BBIG is down by a little bit today, as you can see. Now, oftentimes with BBIG, we do get a bit of a run towards the end of day, and there is still about an hour to go, so it is definitely possible that the stock could come up a little bit towards the end of the day. Who knows? But you know, where we are at the time of filming this video, we are still at a price of 661. So yeah, we are down today, you can see, but I'm really not too concerned. It looks completely fine, especially in relation to what we have been seeing over the past 5 days. It looks like we may have found a level above this $5.50 mark, but we'll get into all of the technical analysis in just a moment. I just wanted to acknowledge the trend that we are seeing on the 1 day and the 5 day, which was downwards, but now it appears to be finding a bit of a level down here in the low $6 range, and then coming all the way back up from there, and now being stable for the time being, at least above the $6.50 mark, which is absolutely fantastic. But we'll get into all of that in just a moment. Let's have a look at the options for BBIG. So these options have about 2 days to expiration, as you can see up here. We'll have a look at how many of these are in the money compared to the puts in the money, and then share my opinion on that, because we can see down here the implied volatility is about 200%. We can see the historic volatility is about 268%, and again, as I said, this is all expiring in 2 days. So we'll start off by looking at the calls and then move on to the puts. So clearly, all of the calls up to the 650 mark at the moment are in the money, so that's pretty good. We can see very low volume for the calls in the money, all the way up to, I would say, the $5.50 mark, because, you know, the price is quite low at that mark compared to the actual share price. So we can see, yeah, a lot of these don't really have too much volume. However, coming up to $6, $6.50, $7, up even to $7.50 and $8, we see a much higher volume. So $6, we have volume of 1,155, $6.50, we have 2.8k, down here at $7, we actually have 4.8k, and down here at $7.50, we have a further 2,000, down here at $8, we have a further 3.3 thousand. So as I always say, guys, if we can see a pushback up to $8 before the end of the week, that would be absolutely tremendous. It is a bit of a high target, but realistically, even $7 would, you know, give us an extra 4.8 thousand options in the money. So, you know, if we can have that, that would be very good for the calls, but we'll just have to see what happens. Again, if we do drop lower, that would be something that we would not see, and we could even potentially lose these options at 650 at the moment right now. But, you know, we definitely could be seeing a bit of a bounce back up tomorrow in the price of BBIG, but I'll get into all of my opinions on that in just a moment. Let's have a look at the puts data down here, because we can see actually the amount of puts in the money is not too bad either. We are seeing pretty low volume for the puts in the money, which is of course good for the people who want to buy calls or want to go long on the stock in general. We are seeing a lot of these puts being out of the money. Now, what we are seeing down here on the puts is actually quite similar to what we are seeing on the calls side of thing, in the sense that at 650 we have a lot of these which are kind of in the money, and again, if this one does drop down to 6, which is quite a way away, but it's not impossible, we'd free up a lot more puts in the money, unfortunately. So we can see at the moment our highest put order is at the $7 mark of 601. We are seeing at $6.50 we have 1,723, and down here at $6, I should say, we have 2.4k. So we can see, you know, if we do drop down to 650 or lower, or even down to $6 or lower, we'd have a lot more puts in the money, but we'll just have to see what happens in regards to that. Again, today has been promising, so I think it is possible that that may not happen, but it all does depend on what happens obviously tomorrow and going forwards into Friday. So what we're seeing down here for BBIG on the 1 day, when we look at the technicals, and then I will share my opinions, by the way. But yeah, on the 1 day, what we are seeing is not too bad. As I mentioned, some really nice consolidation now we are seeing from this point down here. So about 10:30 a.m., maybe even 10:15, we are seeing some really nice consolidation, as you can see. We had a bit of a rip upwards, which took us to highs of the day, which were about 690. And then again, from there, a bit of a drop, but really consolidation, like I said, mainly above that 650 range, which is really good. Again, we can see right now we're sat in the 660 range. We are seeing a moving average figure ever so slightly higher than where we are right now. We are seeing an RSI figure of 50, which is completely perfect actually, and we are seeing this MACD trend. It does look quite bearish to me, to be honest. However, we are definitely coming back into the bullish side of things, which is fantastic. So that could be coming bullish towards the end of day, as we do sometimes see, like I mentioned, with those increases in price towards the end of the day. We'll have a look at the 5-day data out here, which shows us a RSI figure of 50 again. Now this is perfect, as I mentioned. 50 is neutral, so that's good. We are seeing a pretty flat trend on the MACD, to be honest, not really too bullish or bearish in my opinion. And on the RSI, on the moving average, I should say, we are sat on a price of about 663. So really only about a cent away from where we are right now. You can just see the purple tab sticking out of the top. So we are basically sat on that moving average for the past 5 days, which is really good as well. It shows that the stock moving average is definitely keeping up with where we are in price action. Now down here on the 1 month chart, we can see that the moving average figure for this period is 496. The reason why this is lagging behind, because you guys will know this is a 50-day moving average. It tracks the past 50 days, and obviously this movement only started realistically in the past month or two, so it is still lagging behind and it will catch up eventually. The trend on the MACD is inevitably bearish because we did have this big takeoff which brought us massively bullish, and then as the line started to fade over, as the price started to drop, we became more and more bearish. So we are still above this line here, but we are definitely seeing those red candles forming, and these two lines over here are now crossing over, indicating the early signs of a bearish trend, unfortunately, when we come to the technical side. And the RSI figure down here is at 49. So overall, we can see that the data for the technical analysis is not looking too bad. I think it's completely fine. Again, if we can stay above 650, if we can see a break up to $7, even $8 would be ideal by the end of the week. I think it is more of a far off estimate, but I think it's not impossible. Again, $7 would be nice. Ultimately though, going forwards into tomorrow, I want to see us remain in this level. I do not want to see us drop below the 650 mark, and I absolutely do not want to see us drop below the $6 mark. Again, things are looking strong towards the end of day today. If we can see a bit of a close, you know, significantly higher tomorrow, that would be nice, but ultimately a close at 650 or higher would be a win in my personal opinion. Now the short data for the stock once again is looking good. I'm very happy with how that is at the moment, and one thing that I always say with BBIG, because people do ask me in the comment section, how high do I think this one can go if it hits a short squeeze and all that sort of thing. Obviously guys, my opinion does change with the data. With short squeeze plays, it's kind of like, you know, a different form of analysis that we need to do, because clearly in these instances, technical analysis is cool, but it doesn't really mean anything because people are not in these plays for the technical analysis on the companies. The fundamental analysis on these companies is cool, but people aren't really here for the fundamentals. So with the short squeeze plays, we have to look at these in a different way, in my personal opinion, and that is my strategy for this. I think the short data is good, as I repeat in almost every single one of my BBIG videos, and I will be doing it again right now. If the data looks good, if we see interest from retail remain who want to go long on this stock, I do not see any reason why this stock cannot see moves upwards in the future. Again, I think it is definitely important that investors are informed as to what they are getting into, because obviously, you know, these stocks are risky. It's high risk, high reward. People always ask me in the comments as well, what do I think to BBIG from a fundamental standpoint? And that is a really interesting question. Again, some people do actually see this as a fundamental play now that the price has come down. What do I personally think to that? I think that at the moment the price may be a little bit too high to consider this one a fundamental play. And I know, guys, it's a short squeeze play. I'm completely comfortable with that. But people who see this as a fundamental play, personally, I do not. Again, if you disagree with that opinion, that's completely fine. No hate to you. It's just my personal opinion is that this is a little bit overvalued to be seen as a fundamental play, in my opinion. As a company's business model, whilst it is good, I do not think it warrants the current share price, especially considering the growth that we have seen in the past year. So really, BBIG is falling a bit in price today. It's nothing near as bad as what we have seen in the past week. I think today could be a moment where we could see a bit of a move upwards going forwards into tomorrow. We've seen good things from institutional investors. I want to talk about institutions again in another video, probably not tomorrow, but probably the day after that. So on Friday, we will talk about institutions, hopefully, because there's a lot of interesting stuff to uncover over there if you guys haven't already had a look for yourselves. So we'll be looking at those on Friday. But right now, guys, I'm quite happy with how BBIG is moving. Yes, it is down, but it's looking really good towards the end of day. Again, a close above the 660 mark today would be ideal. If not, I'm looking at 650. And again, going forwards into tomorrow, I want to see us finish once more above 650. So thank you for watching through till the end, but let me tell you about our Discord. So on your screen you will be seeing the N2S Finance Discord. Obviously it is split into multiple sections. Basically at the top we have updates from me and all that kind of good stuff. If you scroll down a bit further we have the main sections where we focus on cryptos, SPACs and other hot stocks including penny stocks, even stable growth stocks as well, and we even have a special AMC GME chat. If you scroll down you can see some research and DD from the community. We also have funny memes and you can see actual contributions from members down here. And again, if you do join us, it is completely free, link is down below. But if you do want to become a Patreon, you will actually get a pink sticker which will be displayed on your name. So your name will come up in pink as mine comes up in red down here, and that will show that you are a Patreon. But other than that, guys, you can join completely for free down below. You do not have to pay anything if you do not want to. Thank you for watching, see you soon.